could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
So, political correctness has become a huge thing in this year in the world of politics, and I just want to talk about the difference between being politically incorrect and just being incorrect. Because it seems like whenever somebody's wrong and they're, well, not somebody, Trump and Trump surrogates, they say something that's wrong or stupid and they're corrected on it. They just say, oh, that's because the other person's politically correct. I'm right, you're just censoring me. Political correctness. And it's fucking annoying. There's a difference, believe it or not. But let's start back in the beginning, where this all stemmed from. We all remember where this came and arose from, those fucking feminazis on YouTube.
If you shut the fuck up and let me read my list, there's the fucking proof.
And so I obviously can't like argue that song.
So, number one, shut the fuck up for a second.
So I can't.
Feminists do not want you to lose custody of your children. The assumption that women are naturally better caregivers is part of patriarchy.
Posting all this annoying shit, trying to censor people, and you go to some college campuses and they have their safe spaces, and it created this really annoying movement called the PC police, the SJWs of the world, who are like, oh, don't hurt my feelings. Oh my god. And that's pretty much what stemmed Donald Trump's rise. Which is ironic. If you guys actually listen to Donald Trump, a lot of his rhetoric is anti-media, it's anti, it's really, he sues people because of jokes that he doesn't like. He says we need to tighten up our libel laws so he can sue media sources that he disagrees with, and a lot of fucked up shit. So, but I just want to talk about the difference between being politically incorrect and just being incorrect. I'm just going to show you guys some videos of Donald Trump saying shit and then talking about how he's wrong. All right?
Iran, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, is now flush with $150 billion in cash released by the United States. Plus, if you remember from 2 weeks ago, another $400 million in actual cash that was obviously used for ransom.
All right, so let's go down the list one by one. Number one, Iran is the #1 sponsor of radical Islamic terrorism. In case you guys don't know, Iran is a Shia-controlled government. 90 to 95% of the population is Shia. In case you guys are a little confused, that's a little branch off of Islam. And let me put this in perspective. The Taliban, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, they're all part of Sunni Salafi Wahhabism extremists, which are ultra-conservative Islamic organizations or extremist groups in that form of the religion. So right off the bat, Trump is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's completely talking out of his ass. And if you tell him he's wrong, he's probably going to blame it on political correctness, when the facts actually show that he is not being politically incorrect. He is just being incorrect. You see, there's a difference. Patriarchy! Oh my god, the patriarchy! Alright, so moving on to the next one. Iran got paid $150 billion from the U.S. Once again, it's not true. It was their money. We froze their assets when we applied sanctions to their country. Literally, we're just giving them their money back. And in doing that, the IAEA now gets to check every part of their country, except for maybe, their dicks, checking their pants for nuclear or any form of uranium, which their uranium bases were reduced, so 97% of their uranium is gone, at least. But yeah, they get to inspect the entire, they get to inspect all over Iran to look to see if they're trying to develop a nuclear weapon. If they are, guess what? Those sanctions go right back on. They lose all that money. And the next one with the $400 million, it's so annoying because a few days before that, he came out saying that there was a video of the U.S. literally giving Iran the $400 million in cash, but it was actually the hostages being let go. which Obama and Secretary of State John Kerry negotiated for. So, clap to them. But that $400 million was part of the Iran deal. They get their money back. That $400 million is from back right before the Shah was overrun by the Iranian Revolution. The U.S. was making bank, giving them a shitload of our weapons, and building up their defense. It was part of the war for the greater Middle East at the time. Before that was an actual thing. Before it was all for oil. It was mainly to build up walls between them and the Soviets in that area. So they'd build up certain countries such as Iran, which was our ally back then, and many other countries in that region to stabilize them, stay capitalistic. And when the Shah got overrun, they froze that money that the U.S. owed them for buying the weapons. They froze it. They didn't give them the weapons, and they kept the money. And part of the Iranian deal was that they were supposed to get that money back. So that was literally what the $400 million was for. Had nothing to do with the hostages. And Trump knows this. If he actually read the Iran deal, he actually knows its history, he should know this. He's a presidential nominee. And he just chooses not to give the facts. And that's not being politically incorrect. That's just being incorrect. That's being wrong. And the right wing has taken this idea and hijacked it to mean whenever we're wrong, it's not us, it's you because you're being politically correct. Which is hypocritical in itself. It's reverse political correctness, which in itself is just being politically correct. I mean, Trump these days, he literally censors people. He sued Bill Maher for a joke. He sued The Onion for doing a satire piece. Literally, The Guardian, the Wall Street Journal, they'd have no access to the Trump campaign anymore, or at least close-up access to the Trump campaign, because Donald Trump literally didn't like what they were saying about them, so he banned them. He's the right-wing version of PC Warrior, and people just choose to ignore it. But anyway, let's go with another clip.
Illegal immigration each year costs us between $200 and $300 billion. I don't know if anybody gives you those numbers, probably not. And when you include crime and other problems, it's more than that. So you're talking about between $200 and $300 billion, the way it is now. All right.
But they pay in taxes. They pay $24 billion
Who pays
in taxes.
Do you really believe they pay in taxes?
They pay Social Security, state and local.
Yeah. What percentage of them? 10%?
It's $24 billion a year this economy wouldn't have if they weren't.
Do you know how few pay taxes, Aaron? Don't be naive. Do you think that an illegal immigrant getting money is going to be paying taxes? Okay, sure. Some probably do, only because the employers are insisting on it, okay? But there's very little, percentage-wise, there's very little, probably 5%, 10%. It's a very small amount pay taxes, Aaron. Look, they're here illegally. They're not paying taxes, okay? I've heard this one before, too. I hear them all.
He completely came up with that number on the top of his head. It is absolute bullshit. There are approximately 11.6 million illegal immigrants in this country right now, and he's saying that they cost $200 to $300 billion. Numbers don't add up. There's no statistic. Nothing. There's nothing. They do pay taxes. They do. When you go to the store and you buy something, sales tax. They get their paycheck unless it's off the books. You pay taxes on that. That comes out of your income. Now they don't pay at the end of the year. They don't get charged by the government. They don't pay federal, but they pay payroll. They pay local taxes. They pay for Social Security, which they don't get. They don't get any money in Social Security, and they pay billions. They put billions into it. So him saying that they don't, he came up with the 5% on the spot, and she challenged him on it at all. He's like, 5%, only 5%. No, dumbass, she gave you the number on how much they put into taxes and Social Security, which is billions. 11.6 million people put billions into Social Security every year, and he's saying only 5% pay taxes. The money does not add up. God, I hate this guy so much. I hate him so much. But it's so obvious. They pay when you go to the store and you buy something that has a sale tax on it. If you're on the books and you're working, there's a part of that comes out of your taxes, and it goes to things like discretionary, non-discretionary spending, Social Security, Medicare. A lot of it, discretionary spending, 50% of it goes to things like war, well, not war, military, which is a good 50% of your income, but not payroll. It's around 60% of the payroll tax. But I love how naive he is, man. Like, she gives him the numbers, and after hearing the numbers, goes right through. He's like, oh, they don't pay taxes. Are you kidding me? Dude, she literally, like, spelled it out for you, and you chose to ignore it and went back to your talking point. I don't understand how people can like this dude. She gave him the number, and he's like, I don't like the number. I'm not gonna use it. Nope. I'm gonna build a wall. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great wall. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be great. Mexico's gonna pay for it. Don't know how, but they're somehow gonna pay for it. But they don't qualify for welfare benefits. Like, they can't get food stamps unless they have what Trump will call an anchor baby, which is a kid who was born in the United States, which makes them a legal citizen. But according to Trump, he does not think that should be a thing. God, why are you supporting this man? Why? What are you gonna hurt me like this? And I can't stand how he keeps saying that illegals are flowing into this country. Pew Research did a study on this, and they found that migration into this country is actually negative, which means it's net below net zero, which means more people are going back to Mexico than they are going into the United States. 2011, 2009, there were around 12.4 illegal immigrants. Now it's 11.6. Obama has deported more immigrants, more illegal immigrants, than any president has.
Decades of progress made in bringing down crime are now being reversed by this administration's rollback of criminal enforcement.
Okay, next he says that crime is going up. Simple fact check shows how wrong he is. Once again, crime is going down. But does Trump care about that? No. Look at this. Reported violent crime in the U.S. Crime has literally been decreasing for years now. It's been decreasing for over 2.5 decades. And Trump is so... I don't know if he's ignorant on it, or he's just, like, arrogant, malignantly arrogant to this shit. But it's dangerous to let him speak without... Like, CNN literally now, like, everything he says, everything that's wrong... Like, he says that Obama's founder of ISIS... in parentheses, it writes, he's not. Like, it's gotten that bad. Like, unless you have a fact checker right next to Trump, you don't know what he's gonna say. And it's dangerous. Okay, now I want you guys to watch the last clip. It's not political correctness or any of that, what the rest of the video was about. This one is basically, just watch the manipulation. This is the interview I showed earlier, at an earlier point in the video, and look at the manipulation he has. Like, he is, people, like, you disagree with him, you think he's talking like an idiot, you agree with him, you're like, oh, he's so smart, and yeehaw. But the amount of persuasion, the manipulation, if you guys have taken a persuasion class, or you guys have a degree in persuasion, listen to what he says and how he says it. Like, look, the repetition. Oh, God. People underestimate him so much.
That's
Now
the big
you have
question.
people that came in illegally,
Yes.
and they're called illegal immigrants, and they're here illegally. They're going to have to go, and they're going to have to come back in legally. And otherwise, we don't have a country. And if we don't do that, we don't have a country. They're going to have to go, and they're going to have to come in legally. They're going to have to come in through a system.
Now, you could go to any Trump speech or any interview and you could see this, but I was just watching, I'm trying to get clips, so I'm just watching all these videos, and God, you can see it so strongly. In case you don't know, like, this is a Fox News strip. Repetition is everything. So, back in the day when Obama was first elected, Fox News' agenda was to be anti-Obama. So what did they do? They kept calling him a socialist, a communist, kept calling him a Muslim, kept calling him a foreigner, kept alienating him until eventually a majority of their viewers believed it. And they didn't say any facts, they just kept repeating it over and over again. And if you look at the polls, not as much today, but still a lot to this date. A lot of people who watch Fox News think that Obama's a communist, socialist, he's a Muslim, he's not from here, he's from Kenya, he's not a citizen. And it's because, like what Trump says, they're illegal immigrants, and it's because they're here legally. And, you know, what happens is that they gotta come here legally because they are illegal. And without, we don't have a country. And with that being said, we don't have a country. Because we don't have a country. If we don't have a country, we don't have a country. We don't have a... Like, this is... Like, it's so obvious, but to the majority of the public, it's not. Because you'd think it'd be obvious, right? You'd think. But then again, it's so unconscious. You don't realize that it's happening. Because most people aren't attuned to these kind of signals, these kind of triggers. And he has fooled almost half of the nation to believing it. That's really scary. Anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to leave it a like, share it with your friends, and I hope to see you guys in maybe another month or two. Have a great day.